Hello friends, today I'm going to show you the hyper accelerated dragon variation of the Sicilian defense, which is an improved version of the dragon variation. So let's flip the board first because our focus will be on from the black. As you know, the Sicilian defense where white starts with e4, c5 from black, knight f3 and g6. So friend, this early G6 in the Sicilian signifies hyper-accelerated dragon. The main idea here is to delay D6 in order to later be able to play D5 push in one go. When it gets too risky, black can always transpose into regular dragon structure by playing d6. Another plus is that black often has opportunities to force white to castle kingside. So friends, there are a couple of options available here. One is d4, other is c3, even c4 is also available, and bishop c4 is also a possibility, but that's rarely played. So let's examine c3 first. Black can play d5, immediately challenge white's idea of a strong pawn structure. But bishop g7 could be an option. In fact, I would say a better move. Idea is to let white take control of the center and then black will counter attack on that center. So white here can play d4 where c takes d4, c takes d4 and then d5. E5 would be a better move for the white compared to e takes d5. Here black has options to develop his bishop on g4 and develop his knight on c6. All possibilities are here. Even this knight can go on to h3, h6. Now friends, let's go back to the position where d5 was played, where e takes d5. Here another option for black is where queen takes d5. In this position, black can play d4 or even knight to a3 is also a possibility. Friends, let's go to the position where c4 was played. So I'm changing the theme of the board in order to identify you so you can recognize what happens when. So remember, we have seen what happens when white plays d5, d4. Now let's see what happens if c4 was played. Play bishop g7, again allowing white to build the center here. d4 can be played here. There is an option for the black's queen to give a check from a6, a5, but pointless because it will be blocked by the bishop anyways. So c takes d4 is a better choice. Of course, this will be captured by the knight. So knight takes d4 and then knight c6. Bishop e3, because at this point there is no point capturing the knight exchanges. So bishop e3, knight f6, knight c3 and knight g4 attacking onto the bishop. Seemingly it looks like now the queen can capture it, so it looks like a sacrificing the knight, but not really, as queen takes g4, but knight takes g4 here, and then even material will be equal after bishop captures knight, and then bishop captures bishop. So usually white doesn't allow exchanges of bishops here. So queen to d1 again. With the knight on e6, black has even more dark square control in the center now. I will show you how. This bishop is controlling all those blocks. Even those dark square blocks are being controlled by the queen. This block is controlled by this pawn, and even this knight is controlling this block. So if you look at it, all those dark squares are being controlled by the black. Bishop e2 can be played here. Interesting for dragon position here. Black parts with dragon bishop for initiative, which is bishop takes e3 check. B takes c3 and queen to e5. This move is most often played and most engines recommended. The pawn on c3 is not worth saving, so castles for white here, and queen takes c3. Here white can push the pawn to c5 or rook to c1 is also possibility attacking the queen. Friends, let's come back to d4 where c takes d4 and all of the sudden queen takes d4 attacking the rook. This is arguably the better move in the hyper accelerated dragon since it comes with a tempo on the rook on h8, but the resulting game will likely be the sharp. But first look at it, what happens if knight takes d4. So let's say for example instead of queen takes d4, what happens if knight takes d4? Here bishop can be developed on g7, knight can also go on to f6, the other knight is also possibility to be developed on c6. Knight exchanges, all sorts of moves are possible here. So here say knight f6, then knight c3, where game continues with bishop c7, bishop g7, sorry. But instead of knight c3, c4 will also be interesting. So here knight f6, knight before the bishop to attack the unprotected e4 pawn, then knight c3 protecting the pawn, bishop g7, bishop e3, and knight to g4, giving up knight for the center control with the lines which we have already seen. However, moving back to queen takes d4 block. So here knight f6 blocking the rook. White has two main lines continuations here. More solid is probably knight c3, but e5 can also be very interesting. So let's have a look at both. So if you go e5, then knight c6 attacking onto the queen, queen to a4. Black has to move the, then now black has to move the knight, moving to say knight d5. Queen now has an option to either go to b3 or e4, where it attacks both the knight and the d5 and has an eye on c3. Knight b6 saving the knight, and then knight c3 from the white. Bishop g7 or d5 both can be played here. So let's have a look at the d5 first, where e takes d6, bishop f5 attacking onto the queen, so queen to e2, and then queen takes d6. Knight b5 from white, which will attack onto the queen, so queen to b8. So friends, let's go back and have a look at what happens if bishop g7 was played instead of d5. So at this position, white can play bishop to f4, allows black to castle king side. It also allows white to castle queen side. So here d5 can be played, where again e takes d6, here bishop can take c3, b takes c3, or another possibility where d takes e7. Here queen exchanges can be offered, queen takes e7, queen takes e7. You cannot save the bishop, so why not capture a pawn before capturing the queen? So bishop takes b2 check, king takes b2, and knight takes e7. So friends, I hope you like the madness in the hyper accelerated dragon variation. I hope you have still digest all those variations. within this variation. Let me know in the comments how you like this video. Do subscribe my channel and give me a lot of likes for this. Till then, take care. I will come in the next episode with other Sicilian variations. Sicilian is a huge chapter. So till then, take care. Bye bye.